Welcome. This is a joint meeting, the Waterfront Parks and Cultural Committee, and we also have with us the Transportation Committee. And I want to acknowledge Andrew Zelter. He's going to be probably doing a lot of the talking tonight. And Betty Kay is up there. She's sitting up front. She's the chair of our Transportation Committee. And I also want to acknowledge Onej, who puts all this together for us and does a great job. Thank you. Oh, and I saw Tammy was also there. Welcome, Tammy. She's chair of our board. So, without too much ado, our first item on the agenda is the Brooklyn Bridge Arch Public Space Update. And obviously, Rosa's here to give that report or start it off. And I understand David Breen is in the room or he's attending tonight. And he will be representing DOT's Manhattan Borough Commissioner Office.
Yeah, the owl.
So, Rosa, are you going to kick it off?
For housekeeping purposes, the owls that are on the table will pick up all the noise, including side commentary on the side. So if you'd like it to live on YouTube forever, please feel free to comment on the side chit chat and everything. If you'd not like that to happen, then we ask you not to back chat, and we'll let Andrew will recognize or call everybody around the table and their friend to call.
And just to expand that a bit, as is always the case, let's let our presenters get through their presentations, make note of your questions, and then we'll open it up for completion. Okay. Who's kicking us off?
Well, Ed Pincar, as many of you know, I'm sure, was actually downstairs. He had to finish up a call. He did want to give some introductory remarks, but we can make a start and he can interrupt me if that's okay with you. Well, so first of all, my name is David Breen. I'm Director of Strategic Initiatives at DOT's Manhattan Borough Commission's Office. Kate Shearer from our office is here today as well. And also, as I'm sure you all know, Rosa Chang and Megan Frosterman from Gotham Park, who are joining us this evening to give you this update on the Arches Club.
It's uploading.
Great.
So in the meanwhile, would you like to tell us how long you've been at DOT and do a little filler?
Sure. So I
I never get to meet you.
So I've been at DOT for 11 years now, 11 years this month. Previous roles include I was the Deputy Director of Public Space for the agency for 6 years or so, round numbers. I was the Director of Bridges Innovation and Organizational Management for 2.5 years. And I've been the Director of Strategic Initiatives for 2 years. So that's my DOT resume.
Perfect.
Welcome, Ed.
Hi, how are you?
Introduce yourself for the cameras.
I'm Ed Pincar, DOT's Manhattan Borough Commissioner, and the secret to my success is I do everything David and Kate tell me what to do. It's nice to see you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, timing is everything. Perfectly done. Thank you, everybody. It's charged. You could just say next and we'll advance for you.
Okay, thank you.
It is always good to be back at TV1, and it's especially uplifting to be here tonight to share plans with the board formally for the first time on what the city has reopened as the Arches Plaza underneath the Brooklyn Bridge. I hope you've had a chance to utilize the two spaces that are open now, but we have more coming. And we're thrilled to be here with our partners, Rosa, Megan, Nancy, and others, to give you a glimpse of what we've done, what we plan to do, and how with Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan, Gotham Park, CB1, CB3, our elected officials, we're going to really continue the vision for these spaces. But that's enough for me. So I'll ask David to walk us through.
Sure, all right. So yeah, as Ed said, I've got a few slides here just to kind of introduce you to the kind of the goals of this endeavor, which we are embarking upon. And then we can provide some updates on the status of the spaces today, and then our hopes for the future. So first of all, I think to kind of build upon Ed's introductory remarks, an effort of this magnitude, an opportunity of this magnitude is deserving of special attention, special focus, and expertise from the entire community to ensure that everyone's needs, wants, and desires can be reflected in the plan as it advances. So we decided that the most effective way to achieve that would be to establish a working group. And so the goals of the working group are here on the slide, but it is largely to work collaboratively to collectively establish the vision for what the future of these spaces might look like, to introduce Gotham Park, Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan as our formal plaza partner, to develop this strategy in close collaboration with yourselves at Community Board 1, your neighbors at Community Board 3, and your elected officials, and then to keep a regular dialogue, to maintain a regular communication between all of us to, again, ensure that we are achieving the goals of the group. Next slide, please. So here are the members of the group that we've assembled. So as said, it's the various city agencies, including City Hall, your elected representatives, both community boards, our partners, and then the major stakeholders which are immediately adjacent to the spaces, most notably Murray Bertram School, Pace University, and Alfred E. Smith houses. So here's an overview of the current status of the spaces that we're here to talk about. This is the Arches Plaza. So to orientate yourself, to the left of the screen is Park Row, to the south of the screen is Frankfort Street, and to the north is the Avenue of the Finest, and to the right is Pearl Street. The three spaces that are shown in green, actually named 1A, 1B, and 3, spaces which are currently open. That's spaces 1A and 1B are colloquially known as the small banks, and as is part of space 3. So those are the spaces that are currently open to the public right now. Some of you may have been at the event with the mayor last spring, May of 2023, where he opened the first of the spaces. The most recent addition was space 1B, which happened just a few weeks ago. And then our work on the remaining spaces is ongoing. The biggest and arguably the most transformational of the remaining work is the completion of what is known as the big banks, space 6 here on the slide. And that will really unlock the reopening of the remaining spaces. Once that work is complete, the remaining fences and barriers and obstacles can come down, and that space will then be fully open to the public. Our Bridges Division are incorporating this work into their current Brooklyn Bridge restoration contract, and they're working with their contractor now to source the correct materials, the appropriate red bricks for the pavement, and then once that procurement is complete, we'll have a good sense on the timeline for the completion of that work. Next slide. Here's just a couple of photographs of the most recently opened small bank space. So we're inside the space and we're looking towards Park Row. Now again, just walking slightly around the circle, looking towards the bridge and downtown in the background. So a significant opportunity was presented to ourselves in late summer, and that was to apply for federal funding to advance this vision through USDOT's Reconnecting Communities grant program. So we were able to successfully complete the application process and get the materials to USDOT in September. If we are awarded the grant, that will be a huge moment, a huge opportunity for us to continue to build upon the vision of these spaces. And the scope of the application is shown on the image. So the plaza spaces, which are shown in green, the space adjacent to Rose Street and Frankfort Street, which is shown in pink, And then as well as some really important pedestrian and bike safety improvements on Frankfurt Street. And those are really focused on, well, the entire grant is obviously looking at the value of the spaces and how we can enhance them, how we can improve them. But then the safety improvements on Frankfurt Street and Pearl Street are really thinking about how do we improve access to these spaces? How, with these spaces established, how do we create safe, accessible paths of travel for pedestrians and cyclists so they can access the spaces safely? And that's really the intent of those improvements adjacent to the plaza. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Rosa and Megan to walk you through a few slides.
Would you like to give an intro us?
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Lewington. I'm the chair of Common.
Do we want to
Well,
the video?
The video is actually a very short clip of a longer video that we sent, submitted to the DOT in support of our application.
There's Steve, our co-founder.
So, yeah, roll it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
High school right next to us.
So yeah, sorry for that long, it was a little longer, but I couldn't cut any more. So one of the things that you saw in that video was a community connect, which we had last, oh, I'm sorry, I'm Megan. I'm Chief Operating Officer at Gotham Park. I've been working with Rosa and Nancy and the team for the past 2 years almost. And so last week, we had our very first Community Connect session. We did it in partnership with University Settlement. And the Real Initiative was also there. We did it at the Murray Bertram Campus Library. And really, this is the first of many sessions that we're going to be having to engage the community and figure out, how best to activate the space. Because that's what our org is all about, activating and maintaining this amazing new iconic public space that we have coming online. So we had about 40 attendees from around the neighborhood. And we kind of organized around like 3 main themes, access to mental health within public space, as well as blind spots that people have come across when they've seen, discussions about mental health, and then visioning for what we want to see in this public space. Because as you saw that amazing high school students say, public spaces are really the areas where we can connect with one another. So it's a perfect place to be able to meet the community where they are and provide really important services. And so we'll be following up next year with an online survey, and we're excited to roll out new programs in the spring in connection with University Settlement, who has amazing capabilities in terms of mental health services. Next slide. And so, again, as we said, 2025 is really going to be focused on engagement, both with the DOT in our working group context, as well as just in terms of what our organization can do to program the space. So other community connects will be around other themes like, public art in the space, or fitness and wellness programming, et cetera. We're also starting to do some presentations around our programming at local residences. We met with Chatham Green last week, and we're planning on meeting with Southbridge as well as Smith Houses in January. And then we're also going to be introducing something called our Community Advisory Council in the new year, where we're really just trying to invested stakeholders who would like to have a say and really join us on a like a regular basis to give us feedback on our programming and how our organization can really serve the community within this space. And if you're interested in getting engaged, actually, if you go to our website and click join, there's a place where you can sign up to volunteer, but you can also just say, like, I would like to join the Community Advisory Council. You can just write in how you're interested in getting engaged. Or you can just email me or Rosa. I'm Megan at Gotham Park, Rosa at gothampark.org.
We're all our first names.
Very
at Gotham Park.
accessible. Events, we have some great events coming up, and I'd love to pass it over to Ariel, our program coordinator, to talk about them.
That's the owl.
Am I close enough to the owl?
Yeah.
Okay,
Here,
cool.
let's.
All right, thanks, Rosa. I'll be brief. It's really a pleasure to be here with you guys today, and being brief with this by our team. I understand that CB1 is large part of the reason that I'm able to be in the space and activate it. I'm a New Yorker who has really benefited from public programs and access to them. So it has been really cool to engage with the community about the programs that they want to see in this public space. Coming up on our roster, we have our Lunar New Year Market. Yeah, that was.
It would be nice for them to see you because
Oh, okay.
you hadn't been seen yet.
Oh.
So-
Well, I mean. What we have coming up for the new year, it's gonna be our very first, market that we're gonna host. It will run from February 6th to the 9th, and it is in partnership with Welcome to Chinatown. Yeah, so we've already done some outreach to vendors, and we're currently in the process of figuring out what that will actually look like. And because it's our first market, there's a lot of logistic planning that goes into it. So that's on the roster. Please keep an eye out for that. We're also looking forward to our Cornerstone event, which is our annual block party that happens in the spring. This year, it's on the calendar for May 3rd. So I really hope to see you guys there because we invite out over 30 orgs to come and table and activate our space with arts, music, food. It's really fun. Yeah, and we also have our annual Go Skate Day that's on June 21st. Last year, we did it as like a partnership where we were able to also have
There's an open one on the top on the right.
It was somebody.
Yeah, so Go Skate Day is another cornerstone event because of our skate community. And it's basically, we're looking forward to having a range of activities that service our very diverse audience. Oh yeah, also programs. Yeah, so we as a team have been hosting weekly programs, which look like Zumba, yoga, Saturday stewardship, pickleball, open courts, just like a range of different opportunities for people to engage with the space in a way that's meaningful to them. Qigong also, just trying to serve a range of interests and demographics at various times throughout the week and on different dates. And they have been pretty successful. I have the numbers here. Yeah, we've served over 30 kids, over 50 local residents. We've had over 350 volunteers come out. And it's been a good start, but I think with more community input, we can be more intentional in meeting people's needs. That's where I'm at.
Great. And then in terms of our internships that we offer, many of you know about our group, which stands for Grassroots Planters program that we do in partnership with Urban Assembly Maker Academy, which is one of the 4 high schools that's within the Murray Bertram campus right next door to the site. They are designing sustainable planters, and this will be our 4th phase of the project this year, and we're working towards getting a full-scale prototype that will be approved by DOT to go on site so that we can start taking data. We also have been working with Pace University to provide college internships in marketing and sustainability. We had 2 full-time interns last summer that were covered by the Pace University Community Project funded internships. And we'll have more this summer, and we're also working to have interns during the school year this year coming up. And now I'm going to pass it over to Orville, who is the newest member of our team. And
Can I just add
Yeah.
two things? We have been working with, and Orville, you should sit here. We have been working with a variety of students from a bunch of different schools,
Yeah.
and just to let you know, locally, we are working with PACE, but we're also working with FIT. We're working with Pratt, 2 different classes. We're working with NYU, Columbia, Harvard. So it runs the entire gamut, and something as, different as journalism to urban planning to environmental science. It's really a project that is appealing to a lot of different people who are interested in urban space and how they can reimagine what it can be. So that's incredible. And then can you talk a little bit about that one student that?
Yes.
Just
I
makes me so happy.
meant to. I'm so sorry. This is like really exciting news that came in 2 weeks ago. So like, as we mentioned, we've been working with teams of students from Urban Assembly Maker Academy, and many of them started when they were sophomores, and now they're all seniors, and they've all been applying for colleges this fall. And I've been told, they're all using the group project in their college essays. And one of them in particular just found out that she got a full ride merit scholarship to Stanford And she had written about group in her college essays. So we're like, I was like
Yeah.
amazed. So, and she's amazing.
And I just have to say that most of the kids that actually started group with us, they came in because of the skateboarding angle. They had like zero interest in climate change or resiliency. And they left as like pros, and we're just so excited and deeply, deeply invested in the issue. So
And we have an impact report with all of this too, that's up on our website now. So if you want to read more about what we've been doing, but I want, to turn it over to Orville, who is our environmental engagement coordinator.
Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Orville Minot. I've been in the youth development field for the last 27 years. Primarily spent a lot of my time at Prospect Park, working with their youth programs there and developing advocacy and community engagement. The last 8 years, I've worked here at Halford Smith and helping the residents of Halford Smith to develop their community gardening initiative. I've just, as Megan stated, I've just started to work here at Gotham Park, and the whole goal is to engage the schools and programs within the community to have the young people understand their role within Gotham Park and how they can help to maintain the park and also promote it.
Yeah.
And like y'all all know that Stewardship Saturday is still ongoing. We have decided that we will continue throughout the winter, as I notice the winter is quite mild. So every day that's over 39 degrees with low wind on a Saturday, we will be outside. Okay, I just want to put that out there for you guys. Low wind. Low wind, mean wind below, say 20 miles per hour. Anything between 25, 35 at 40 degrees is gonna equate to, air chill temperature of around 28 degrees. So low wind makes it doesn't feel that cold. With that, step back.
All right, so in closing, I just want to say, I want to thank the community for it, because this is very much a project that has its roots in the community, specifically community one. What was that? I met on the community board. Francis Curtis was one of our, I don't think you were the first donor, actually, to Gotham Park. You were. And so when I met Rosa, Tammy said to me, this is the height of COVID, and Tammy said, so your mentee, like your little sister or whatever we called it back then, I don't remember, is gonna be this woman, Rosa Chang. It's the height of COVID. I remember calling her on the phone. I remember where I was at the time.
Yeah.
And because I was outside, calling her on the phone, and she said to me, I have this little idea for a project. What do you think? Should I bring it up to the community board? And that's kind of how it all got rolling. But yes, I wanted to thank the community. I remember one of our very first public town halls was facilitated by CD1. Do you remember that, with all the skaters? So we really want to thank CD1 for really just all their support and everything they've done to enable this. It's very much a project that was envisioned by community board members for the benefit of the entire community. So thank you.
And then I'm just going to close by saying thank you to our DOT partners, because without your trust in us and your willingness to be a little flexible on a lot of things, we know. Say it quieter, else the owl will catch it. But we know that the Brooklyn Bridge is one of our most treasured transportation infrastructure legacy icons in the city. I mean, how many more words can we throw at it? And so we know that your trust in us to love it and take care of it and, help it become a space that actually gives to our community is significant. So we just want to say we are beyond excited to be Plaza partners for this project. And thank you to literally every single person on this community board who has been a part of this process to get us to today. And oh my God, I'm gonna cry. I'm not pleased, but anyways, I just have to say thank you. It's enormous. So thank you.
Great. So thank you. Why don't we open it up to questions? We'll start with people in the room.
So I saw the presentation, and then Megan, thank you for mentioning that you'll include Southbridge on any future meeting, and maybe they can be part of the
It's
work.
already scheduled, actually.
Yeah.
And then the other question is, what's the future for the arches? I mean, that would be perfect place for restrooms or a library, but in case that's already there, I just wanted, like to know what are the plans.
There's currently, our focus is currently on the footprint that we showed in our presentation. So the immediate areas underneath and around, including allowing pedestrians to walk through the archways. There are no current plans to allow any activity within the belly of the Brooklyn Bridge itself.
What was the construction project? 'Cause I noticed, because I live around there, they closed it up, they sealed it, they put walls up. What,
Danny could tell you even better because he worked for the Bridges Division for a couple of years during the project, but essentially it was a $300 million plus project to completely restore the facades and historic archways. The Brooklyn Bridge is not only a landmark, it's on the National Historic Registry of Places. I might mix those words up. And you know, the amount of detail to the preservation of the bridge, it was just incredible. So we have and almost done making the bridge more sustainable, bringing it up to more modern standards, and also beautifying it back to its original luster. So that was the 10+ year project that started, I think it was 2010?
2010.
It's 2010 that has been ongoing.
okay.
And the secret to the Brooklyn Bridge, like many other pieces in our infrastructure, is the work never stops. So as we complete Brooklyn Bridge 7, we're already thinking about Brooklyn Bridge Contract 8. And then there'll be a Brooklyn Bridge Contract 9, because this, it is the crown jewel in DOT's portfolio, is in constant need of updating, protecting it, not only for, generations to come, but for even longer.
Thank you. I hope there's plans for the future where the community can use it, and as well as it be functional for the community in different ways.
We hear you. It's almost like Rosa should have thought of that.
Probably did, I'm just saying.
Rosa.
It's a widely advocated for position. You hear from Rosa most frequently, but I don't think what Eric is saying is something you haven't heard from, oh gosh, there have been so many East Side advocates over the years who have asked for libraries on the East Side, entertainment venues on the East Side, senior center space, more senior center space, recreational. I mean, there's so many needs on the East Side, especially in that area, that, it's a lovely piece of real estate.
And also the area underneath and around the bridge, which we are opening up, is lovely. And that's the focus of this working group. And managing expectations is a big part of my job. So not only the community boards, our elected officials, Roses and Gotham Parks. Sometimes you have to start a little bit small and build up a snowball. I don't think that Rosa could have 3 years ago imagined that she would be here tonight, getting as far as we already have. And I think we're building tremendous momentum, particularly as we seek funding from our federal and state governments to do something more in the future. But what is essential to DOT as the protector of the public space, and truly our colleagues are the experts in public space, is that we're thinking through a real community-led design discussion that incorporates the opportunities while also making clear that this is the area that DOT will always need to preserve and maintain the Brooklyn Bridge. And there will be times in the future where we have these plazas and they're going to be shut down again for a period of time to accommodate construction. And I don't want anyone, even now, because I won't be here by that point, but I don't want anyone to know that that's not going to happen. So making sure that we're designing for flexible spaces and ultimately, as we get to a capital project in the future, actually choosing material that might even be modular and movable. That's a big part of our longer term thinking.
That makes sense, because, you have to maintain the roadways above, chair lifts will have to go underneath it, so, yeah, that makes sense.
It's also the single most important security target in the city. So I don't want us to downplay the security concerns as well.
Tammy?
So I have 3 questions. One, so you said the big banks, which is section 6, will basically be, once that opens, that'll be the bridging space that will open all the others that are on the opposite side as well as the open archway, correct?
Correct.
And if I understand correctly, we know what's going on right now in 1A, 1B, and small banks. But what is the plan for big banks area and the other sides? You mentioned movable options and things like that, but what is the current thought process? Is it just open passive space? Is there more street furniture being in? What is the long-term thought process on those spaces? That's one section. And then at one point, maybe you would know this better than me, is there was an engineering study that community board had asked for a long time ago about, to take a look at potentials for, since we know the Park Row exit is closed, and there's been discussions on some of the other ramps that go up around the FDR about, is there possibilities to add any other pedestrian access on and off, or bicycle access on and off? And that had to do with, at the time, we were told an engineering study needed to be done to evaluate the load and the capabilities. And has that been done in association with any of this? So those are the two banks of questions that I've got.
So the first one, the bridge contract is, which again is more than a decade old at this point. They're required to restore the areas underneath and around the bridge as they finish up their work. So I think if you actually have been to the spaces we've opened, the contractor and the craft people have taken tremendous pride in restoring these areas. I think it looks beautiful, and you're going to see that type of restoration within the remaining spaces to be opened next year. DOT will work with Gotham Park on their ultimate plaza partner and maintenance agreement. We do have the ability to add amenities into that contract that we are already discussing with our various colleagues. That will get us through next year, and there will still be ongoing conversations and improvements along the way. Something much larger, the physical transformation of these spaces with truly new capital materials, with the modular equipment or other type of amenities that I mentioned. That's many years away. You have to first get the money, and then you have to design it, and then you'll have to actually go out and construct it. And oh, by the way, during construction, those spaces won't be available to the community because they're going to be in the process of being upgraded. So that's really like the short, medium, and long-term possibility. I will get you the latest. This effort has no engineering studies to envision any additional pedestrian access to the bridge itself. So we're going to focus on the plaza effort today.
Anything else, Tammy?
I'll ask again next time. Sure.
Couple of questions. Is it understood that DOT will retain responsibility for this space, or is it expected to transition to any other agency over time?
So glad you asked that question. I love it. We love Rosa and team. I've accepted the name of their organization. This is not a park. This will never be a park. This is DOT property, and we are thrilled to include it in our plaza program, which is DOT's programmatic way to re-envision our public spaces. So we are working with Gotham Park to become our formal plaza partner for that space, but it will remain DOT's property forever.
This is the question. Second, could you tell us the status of Park Row?
If I could come, so DOT continues to work on a traffic study. We will convene with the Chinatown Connections Working Group pretty soon, I think, to give some updates in January. And then we'll give some options to the community about what we think is possible.
Thanks. And Richard? Is that it?
Yeah.
Thanks. Alice?
I have several questions. First of all, big congratulations.
Yeah.
You know, you all,
Meant
you
to-
know,
meant to
big,
say that.
huge, and
Really.
they are the inspiration for my lowly little Barnett and Triangle. you know, and many people who work in the parks were all those friends groups, to see this happen, and I know you had a big part of this. Anyway, a couple of questions. I've always been curious about the history, and this I could have asked you, but of the 9 acres, plus or minus, how much of it is new and how much of it is a restoration? For example, if we look back, I don't know, 50 years, was this all park? Like, what was it like before? I always wondered about that, you know? Was it all just a beautiful park at some point? And this is a restoration of that view? I've never seen historic documents, I think. I guess they don't. I'm sure I have. I take it back. You know, I've seen, but I've never seen, I don't know the answer to that question.
It's never officially dead. Park means something, right? Park means that it's, you know, the property of New York City Parks and Recreation. It's inalienable, and it has a very specific designation. So the area underneath and around the bridge was never a park. But, you know, you will find some park leaves.
Yeah, there's trees, open space.
Over time, they kind of do what they want.
Yeah, but the question is, when we're looking at, for example, the program that you had up, that you showed what's coming, what's here, where does the area that's, because I know exactly.
Yeah, I was just curious. I think that's an answer, is that it never really was being utilized as an open public space for community.
So it was previously open to the public. This predates the Plaza program. And DOT's Plaza program, now, which is more than a decade old in its own right, created a framework by which the agency can work with just committed partners to completely rethink the public space, but most importantly, to program it, to make it vibrant, to keep it clean. You know, DOT's great at many different operations, but the type of work that, you know, Gotham Park just walked us through really relies on their resources, their expertise, their commitment. So, you know, it remains DOT property. We are inviting them in to say, okay, here is your ability to bring something truly great to the public. And then collectively, we can think through what a capital transformation may look like in the future.
And so I'm glad to hear the name is now settled, that it is actually going to be called Gotham Park, not Gotham Plaza. No, okay. Well, I tried, I mean, is that a bad question to ask? That's a great question. Oh, okay, because it does drive some of us.
So we have a formal designation for every plaza. We now have over 70 plazas throughout the city. This is the Arches Plaza, and our maintenance partner is Gotham Park.
That's really boring. Okay. I had 2 more questions in my packet. I have 2 more, sorry, and I think I'll shut up. You had mentioned, so there is, okay, you answered that. So you had mentioned the competition, the grant that you applied for, which is really exciting. What are we talking about, money, and how much, if you get this, what are we talking here for federal grant? If you're allowed to say, I don't know if that again is not allowed to be.
So I think it remains to be seen is the honest answer. There was no, we didn't apply for a specific amount. We applied to the Reconnecting Communities program with the materials that we shared. And it defined the kind of the scope of the work that we were looking to investigate, but it doesn't come with a dollar amount. It wasn't a direct request for we would like X. So that's a decision that USDOT will make in their assessment of our application materials and judge those against applications from across the country.
Country, sure. That's very exciting. When do you hear?
Well,
that's true. That's right.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what the timeline for that is. It's the honest
We sent a letter of support too.
I just want to go online. We have some questions online. Paul?
Thank you. I first want to start by going on record to say how gratified I am that we've come this far and that so many people in this room deserve a lot of the credit. Certainly, you know, needless to say, Rosa was remarkable and has been remarkable. And Ed has also stepped up. I mean, I just want to point out, you know, that it's always been this community board that has led the effort to try to reclaim this space that did serve the area for years and years and years. And we have few opportunities to create open space on the east side of the district. So I think we should continue our best efforts to work together, towards these goals. And, if space is needed for bridge construction, we should also look to other communities to share the burden so that it doesn't all fall on this plaza and on this community board to have the space for that. But in any event, I especially want the newer members of the board to realize that this has long been an issue that we've all worked on for quite some time. And thank you for all the assistance that we've gotten over the years. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. So let's take a couple more questions. So Betty, you had your hand up before? Okay.
There's a quick one just about the Plaza program more generally. What kind of funding, if any, does this unlock for the Plaza partner? Plaza partner.
So the program itself doesn't come with any funding attached to it. What it does do is help us leverage other opportunities. It helps us advocate to OMB and city government more generally that we have a missing partner in place. We have an asset that we really want to be able to transform. So being a member of the Plaza program, being part of the Plaza program collective, really elevates the space from a kind of a hierarchical perspective within kind of our capital program. So it does, while not coming with any direct funding, it does elevate its status.
Right. Thank you. Richard?
First, I also want to just congratulate the team. I mean, I have to do that. You guys have really accomplished something quite extraordinary, and we're all going to benefit from it. So we greatly appreciate everything that you've done. It's really remarkable. Is it assumed and understood that the space will remain open 24/7? There's never an idea of restricting access. Is it?
Part of the reason why it's so important for us to be DOT property is it remains open to the public at all times.
Yeah. Great. Alice, and then I just have a couple questions to close it off.
Yeah, this is a little off topic. I'm gonna pull a Rosie here. You're gonna forgive me. But I do wanna, no, I mean, I wanna ask just one thing, because you have all these plaza people in and you're talking about the plaza. And so we have a plaza that we talked about last month, which is Barnett Newman. And I've noted that it's no longer got its partnership status in your database as of.
Disappeared off the public
Yeah,
site.
and I was really concerned to see that. And so, and you're sort of nodding.
Surprised to hear it.
Yeah, and so I wanted to ask if, in light of all this success, if we have a really healthy friends group, we have some really healthy donations recently, and we are almost at a 501c3 point. I would really love to see that, that partnership live. That does have parks jurisdiction as well, so I guess that, and DEP, because of it being a green infrastructure project. So I'm just hopeful, could we have some small meeting with a few people to just launch that a little bit more emphatically?
Concern is with the.
Is that, wait a
art
minute,
goals
let's get a yes
to
or
grow
no.
Pedestrian plazas in CB1 because we don't have enough parkland, and to be able to connect and take back and pedestrianize our streets is, we all agree with DOT. I know that's kind of crazy.
So could we have a
But
meeting
in the
with you?
places for that, that's been.
Of course.
Okay, and sooner than later, and later year. Thank you. That's
Sure.
it, and thank you,
Which-
Rose, for letting me do that.
Tags me to two other things that, the Plaza Partnership Program.
Yeah, just.
This as a working group is amazing because it is the Brooklyn Bridge Arches. I mean, let's be honest, it is just the landmark, one of the amazing landmarks in CB1 and iconic for all of the city. And it's had, in a post-COVID world, the most transformation than any icon in Lower Manhattan or of the city. If you have to think and you take a look at where we are with Gotham Park, which is just unreal, but then also take a look at the bridge itself. We have bike lanes, No more vendors, it's an incredibly positive pedestrian experience. So that icon, and that really shows an opportunity for what we can do when we really think outside the box, and makes me wonder, is that kind of the thought process that we have now for public space and pedestrian plazas? Because there are very different, yes, if you compare some of the ones that are in Times Square, for example, to Gotham Park, they're extremely different, based on partner, based on location. But what is the priority that DOT is looking for I know what the community priority is, something more akin to what we're talking about here with programs and plantings and livability of pedestrian plazas beyond commercial ability. But you need to have both in order to have a plaza partner survive. So my question is for DOT, when you're prioritizing pedestrian plazas with partners, where are the metrics that go into it? What are you looking for? Is it dependent on location?
So DOT does not implement plazas on its own. This is an application-based process. Any community group, collection of businesses, business improvement districts, institutions, if they see an area of city right-of-way under DOT's jurisdiction, they can submit an application, which I think there's a window every year, to become a partner for DOT's process. Depending on the spaces, we may start small. So for example, if it's more of if you can imagine a triangular intersection where the slip road may not be as essential, we've in the past encouraged groups to start with a one-day plaza 1 year, get support for it, and then go back and actually the following year propose, well, let's close that down permanently. Let's see what resources the group has. There are basic requirements for becoming a plaza partner, including insurance, indemnification, and all of the like. But I encourage all of you to spread the word when our application window opens to say to community groups, institutions, and others, hey, this could be a really good idea. DOT is always happy to give informal advice on where we could consider a plaza. I would say Broadway between, Warren, probably not the best place just to shut it down, but like there could be other opportunities where we're.
Don't be surprised if someone suggests that.
Yeah.
Sure. I think we know who might.
Could be David. And there are of course concerns for traffic safety and flow that we'll always have to consider, but if there are areas under DOT's purview that community members see an opportunity for a plaza, we're happy to have those conversations.
Great, awesome.
So I just want a couple very quick questions, and apologies if I missed this. So of the 9 acres, how much has currently been activated? And sort of you mentioned end of next year, as I thought I heard you say a time frame. Is that for the remainder to be activated, or?
Do you want the backup?
I don't know the total square footage of what's open today.
1.3.
Yeah, sorry, I can't work in acres, or I can't convert that quickly, but it's in the order of 40-something thousand square feet currently.
And then I think the total, once we're done, is over 130,000 square feet. So we have another approximately 90 to 100,000 square feet to be restored and reopened.
And that ends at Pearl, the
Correct.
current plans.
Yes.
So if my math is correct, then that 130,000 square feet is roughly 3 acres.
I'm going to take your word from it. I'm from Brooklyn. We don't share any acres.
An acre is 40,000, it's just square feet. I don't believe we're actually at 60,000 with the new section. The small banks, it just opened in November, so we were at 40 before, now we're at 60. And then the big banks and all the areas, the strips along Frankfurt Street are,
So then in terms of using Ed's term, managing expectations, we're not talking about 9 acres of usable space. We're talking more about 3 to
not
4
at the
acres.
moment, but the end.
Yeah.
I get inside.
Again, just on the record, we are currently looking at the footprint that we showed and no further.
Can you show that footprint again? Because that was going to be my fun question when we were looking at the map. And that's kind of why I said Pearl Street, specifically, look,
It's not.
we have put Ed literally over hot coals for a long time.
Which one?
There's
But,
one that's just the map.
With the numbers on, no, yeah, that one.
so that is the full plan that ends at Pearl Street on the right side at the end of Block B, correct?
Correct.
And 5 and 6, the 2 5s are through passageways in between the big banks and the Frankfurt side of the bridge.
Correct.
And there's a bike lane going down the Frankfurt side of the bridge.
What we've identified, or what we identified during the grant application process, was the need to improve bike infrastructure, particularly from the kind of city hall areas down to the greenway. And so, yes, I think that first step, we're going to look to do something in-house to our street improvement program in 2025. And then as this project advances, I think we're going to look to extend that further toward the river as well.
So we love the word extension. Can you go back to that other map? And looking at extending towards the river, that means that nice blue line that you've got,
Which
right,
line?
that says the bike and transit improvement, which leads, I might say, to the Brooklyn Bridge Beach that we're hoping to have, that we spoke about on Monday with the Seaport Coastal Resiliency Project.
But we should have that whole.
Yeah, that's been partially paid by Gail from the last administration.
$6 million.
Exactly. So we just want to mention that to make sure that when you're looking at whatever is being done, that stays top of mind. Because I understand and see that south of Pearl, you've got nothing yet. And we use the word yet because we've seen the progress that we've made from where we are today to where we were in 2020. So I'll just use the word yet from Pearl down to the river, but Brooklyn Bridge Beach, definitely to ensure that whatever is done with the transportation and the SIP, that you don't wall off our opportunity to get there.
Mhm.
And potentially, access when you get down to the East River Greenway to be able to bike yourself up to the new pool. That'll be.
And then based on the other map we had up as it's currently laid out, there's no impact to any vehicular pattern currently? Okay. And then I guess this is a question for Gotham Park. And I do want to transition to the next topic if we can into this. Are you guys appropriately structured to do fundraising?
We are a 501c3 and we have been for a while, yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. Can I just say 2 things? Number 1 is the federal grant is called Reconnecting Communities. And I think that just so everyone's aware, we actually are fall between CB1 and CB3. And I think one of the things that we are most excited about is that frankly, both sides don't have enough open space. So we are so excited that this is a space that actually is a place where we can all come together and join. And we're really excited about that. And darn it, I forgot my second point because I was waiting so long. So I'm just gonna end it.
Can you work on the connection of the section, we talked about this a lot, the sectional connection from Police Plaza down to that area? I know that's not your territory, but that seems like such a.
I may pass out from exhaustion if I try to take on any more. I think that the other thing.
We're widely in support of that.
Yes.
I mean,
overall.
sidewalk.
I just want to say, I passed by on the way over, the sidewalk is actually complete. We are so excited about that at the pinch point. And it looks like it's in great condition, so we can't wait until it opens. I'll be curious.
Great.
If I can just close by thanking Gotham Park, thanking all of you, and then also a army of DOT colleagues.
Yes.
One of the great things about this project is that it is bringing in our colleagues from every division. David and Kate led a site visit earlier. It's not just our public realm plaza team, it's our street lighting team, our bridges division, urban design, art, and all of our planners who think through safety and mobility upgrades. So I think one of the reasons why the agency has taken such great love for this concept is because it touches on every part of the work that we do. And, leaving the space in a better place than we found it will be a big part for all of our legacies, as long as it stays east and west of Pearl.
We ask you.
Right.
Ask you to pass along the thanks of the community board
Yeah.
to those Army.
We will, and we'll keep you posted as we're knowing more about the overall construction timeline wrapping up, as we learn more about the grant process, as we talk more with Waterfront Park about their formal agreements and programming opportunities and potential concession opportunities, and the like moving forward.
When will the next working group be, just so we can have a sense when we might hear from you?
So we are going to give a version as this presentation to Community Board 3 in January. And I think we'll kind of want to see where we are with our federal application, because I think that will give us a better sense of what the next steps would be.
Right.
So, but certainly early to February of next year, you'll get another update.
So I always say to Kate, when she's with us at transportation, thank you and I'm sorry, because I do think with the expanded rules that DOT has had in the past 4 years, it's been expensive. Expensive in terms of time and talent and energy. And so it's always a thank you and always I'm sorry, because we tend to have a lot of needs, which unfortunately you're uniquely qualified to fill.
Give us your needs and we'll do the best we can to improve them.
So thanks to everyone for the presentation tonight.
Appreciate it.
Very, very insightful. Thank you.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
So Paul, we're gonna jump to the second topic.
Amani, join us at the table.
Yep, so our second and final topic for the evening.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have an update, Governor's Island update and program announcements. Please get Amani Isaac joining us to walk us through the updates.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I don't know if my presentation will be as exciting as but the Arch Plaza. My name is Imani Isaac. I'm the Senior Manager for Community Outreach and Partnership with the Trust for Governor's Island. I've been with the Trust for about 3 years now, and my role primarily focuses on community engagement. Yes, we have that before. Community engagement from an equity standpoint, and then also ensuring and supporting our intergovernmental affairs and external affairs. I'm ready for the Just a quick agenda to orient everyone with the presentation. I'll be walking through our winter hours and programming, and then have a few slides that walk through development updates as it relates to the island. For transparency, I do not live on the real estate and planning team, so there may be a lot of questions that you all have that I may have to come back for a later meeting with answers or share responses with Tammy and Alice, and then they can relay it to the rest of the committee. So if you all don't know, Governor's Island is open year-round, 365 days with accessibility. What that means for winter access is that the island is open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. We continue to offer our daily service from Manhattan, located right at 10 South Street at the Battery Maritime Building. In addition to our own Governor's Island-led ferry service, we are also served on the NYC Ferry South Brooklyn route with weekend shuttles. Ferry tickets to the island on $5 round trip. No need for you to purchase a departure ticket. And then to ensure equity, we have a bunch of subcategories for free tickets, including children 12 and under, NYCHA residents, seniors, IDNYC holders, former and active military groups, and more. Programming on the island looks a little different this year, as well as some familiar faces. One, just encouraging everyone to enjoy our 120 acres of open space. This year, we've included a winter scavenger hunt that we hope entices visitors to look at all of our natural areas across the island. We are welcoming back winter dog days. We're aligning ourselves with NYC beaches, meaning that dogs will be allowed on island all days, all times, from November 1st to April 30th. They do require you to have your dogs on a leash, but we have created a really cute dog park, I think, that allows you to be off leash. So hoping anyone in the room and friends that have furry friends feel like they'd like to invite them to come to the island as well. And then finally, open daily again, you'd be able to enjoy eats from Makina and Joe's Coffee at the B&B. In terms of events and programming, we're really excited to bring back the Ice Sculpture event for its 4th year. For anyone who's not familiar with the event, it's an opportunity for artists to respond to an open call. They get to work with Okamoto Studios, carve their submission live on Governor's Island. And then whoever wins the selection receives some financial contribution. That event will take place on Saturday, February 8th. To build upon our cultural offerings, we are celebrating Black History Month again in 2025. That'll take place on Saturday, February 22nd. And then finally, what I think is everyone's beloved Governor's Island event, other than Pumpkin Point, is our 4th annual Earth Day, which will take place April 19th. And then just a refresher as it relates to arts and culture, these are our ongoing and open commissions on the island. I think the only new one that folks in the room may not be familiar with is Bird by Sheila Berger. That public art is located in the South Island right near Hammock Grove. It's cute, right? It's different. And then the next one. I'm not going to walk through every bullet because there are some slides that I have with corresponding information, but some things I do want to call out as it relates to tenant highlights is the first that QCNY, our year-round spot on the island, has completed their phase 2 of their development. They've opened a second building. It has a year-round cafe and additional spa amenities. The other project that I want to call out that I think we presented to the Community Board Landmark Committee earlier in the year is Building 140, the building right adjacent to Swatson's Landing Taco Vista. That will also be a year-round cafe and restaurant space. And then finally, the New York Climate Exchange is continuing to develop their design, and they are slated to come back to the Community Board sometime in 2025. Things I do want to pay more attention to and call out that were on that map is first the Harbor School expansion. I know the Community Board had a lot to do with this project. On November 7th, the School Construction Authority and the Trust broke ground on the new development area for the Harbor School. Really high level, what comes out of this project is one, renovations of the historical building 555, which you can see on the map is adjacent to the Harbor School's existing footprint. They will be constructing a new facility in the Western Development Zone. For context, if you all have been to the island recently, it's closer to where Collective Retreat sets up their tents and camp area. And then what I think is the biggest win of this project is that in addition to increasing their classroom space, their lab space, and doubling their campus, every Harbor School student will now have access to a competition-sized pool, which I think is very imperative for their diving program. They no longer have to truck to Bushwick. They can now stay on island.
Could you speak up a bit?
Oh, yeah, sure, no problem. I just mentioned that in addition to them doubling the buildings, increasing classroom and lab space, what I think the biggest win is that Harbor School students now have access to a competition-sized pool, which will ensure that they can complete their diving requirements, without having to travel to Bushwick, which I think is their current method of being able to do that. And then in terms of timeline, like I said, groundbreaking took place November of this year, and they're estimating completion 2027. I think, we will continue to update you on what that timeline looks like as it develops. This is a lot of text, so I'm not going to repeat all of this on the screen, but I believe you, for the most part, you all are familiar with the Nolan Park Cultural Campus. For those who are not, as a reminder, Nolan Park currently is being utilized as a temporary programmatic model where cultural and artistic nonprofits across the city are able to utilize our historic buildings free of charge. In return, they offer free public programming to our visitors on the weekend during the May to October season. The reason why this is a temporary model and we're able to offer free of charge is because these buildings, as you could assume, don't have ADA compliancy, no running water, no heat, no HVAC, so you can't really make it year round. So the vision is that Nolan Park at full scale would be a renovated cultural campus to offer affordable long-term space. What currently is happening for the project is that there's about 12 buildings that we need to renovate. 2 are underway. Building 20 is actually going to be completed 2025 of next year. And in this project, we'll be able to offer space for up to 25 nonprofits with anticipated access for about 200 artists. We currently have received funding for this vision through Red Sea, City Council, Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine, as well as extensive letter of supports from CB1. So thank you guys always. We are identifying Building 19 as our next capital project submission. Myself and other colleagues are actually working on our NISCA large grant application that is due in January of next year. And so myself will probably be emailing you all for a letter of support in a few weeks. And then current tenants, as some of you know, Institute for Public Architect is currently a long-term tenant in Nolan Park. Billion Oyster Project and NYU Gallatin are slated to move into Building 20 once it's completed. And then a refresher, the project team actually working on Building 301 will be coming to the Landmarks Committee in, I think, January 2025. So this is very a top level slide. And again, I don't have all the full details on this project, but just to remind you all, Building 301, which we're calling the Buttermilk Labs, is right on the waterfront adjacent to Yankee Pier, will be a lead gut renovation with about 23,000 square foot of incubator space for climate, environmental justice, and green tech businesses. They're also hoping to create space for nonprofits to be able to use for public engagement and convening. This project will also include a year-round cafe. And then in terms of timeline, they're already with 100% conceptual designs that were completed this year. Our LPC application is to be submitted in early 2025. And then they're planning for groundbreaking to take place in spring 2025. Of course, all applications going well with anticipated 2028 opening. And that is it.
Okay, thank you. So let's start in the room. Questions? Let's start with members first. David?
Simple one. The island is open, available to the public in the course of the winter. Is there an interior space you can get warm?
I love that question. Governor's Island has very limited indoor space. So as I'm sure you know, the only indoor space that we would consider for the public is the spa, but that comes with a cost. So there's no public indoor space as it is right now.
Good to know. Thank you. Dress warm.
Yes.
Got it.
You did, right?
Yeah. Probably, I've been there during the summer, and I remember there was scarcity of restrooms. Especially, like where the ferry docks, there's a restroom. Are there restrooms throughout the island?
There are restrooms in multiple locations on the island, indoor restrooms as soon as you get off the ferry at the Lower Manhattan Cultural Council, and then a bunch of bathroom trailers set up across the island. I know it doesn't sound luxurious.
No, that's
and
fine,
beautiful,
that's fine.
but they're actually really nice porta potties. Yeah, they're really nice porta potties.
I think
Are they warm?
They are.
And a lesser question is, what was the name of the boat? There was a competition like a year ago for this. What was the final choice?
Yes, so we have not announced the name of the new boat yet. We're hoping to announce that in 2025.
Oh, so is that boat available? I mean, is it running or is it?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay, that's delayed. Thank you.
Did you have a question, sir?
Yes, I have been working 2 years now with Earth Matters over here. And I know that there was supposed to be some changes. Will it be in the same location from 2025?
I'm unsure of where their location will be in 2025, but I do want to say that there was a composting RFP that we put out. Earth Matter was selected, and we're currently in the process of just making sure that we're responsive not only to our island composting needs, but then also citywide needs, because as you all know, Earth Matter does live composting on island for more than just Governor's Island.
And that's they're also the partner that we're gonna be using for the compost here at the plaza.
Oh, that's exciting. They do great like engagement and education.
Any questions online? If not, I just have one or two quick questions. So, do we have a time frame for when the new ferry will come online?
I don't have a time frame.
Okay. And then as it related to 301 Buttermilk Labs, where is that in relation to consideration of the climate?
Trying to orient you. So you know where the church that Chantel Martin piece is?
Yep.
309 is right behind it. So the climate exchange is a bit of a walk to Yankee Pier.
Okay. Got it. So it's not as though you're investing in gutting that and it would be completely redone in connection with what's happening with the climate. Okay, got it. Thank you. Any other questions? Great. Lonnie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So guys, that's our agenda for this evening. I think we can adjourn.
Can we, sometime in next year, get some, Brooklyn Bridge Beach, updates from whoever? So we, first half of the year,
Yeah,
somewhere
Paul-
there.
Paul and I will take that on.
Great, thanks.
On the agenda.
It's been a while since they.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. So we see everyone when next Tuesday? On board?
So now.
Darn.
So just as a reminder.
Yes.
Are you feeling the first day, the 19th? The 19th.
I know.
Situation. And, no, I think that.